The person who advised William Samoei Arap Ruto to facilitate the return of Miguna Miguna into the country is a political genius and should actually be celebrated by all Kenyans.
My name is Kida Work for SPM. First, welcome back to Kenya.
That is an irrelevant question at this time. I have given my statement. It ends there. I will answer other questions at the right time. Thank you very much. And this is the end. No more questions. Yes.
Because if there's one area where William Ruto has scored 100%, then it's the issue of Miguna Miguna. But the question which most Kenyans are asking is whether William Ruto's plan to install Miguna Miguna as the next Luo Kingpin to succeed Raila Odinga will actually succeed. In this video, I want us to look at whether William Ruto will succeed in installing Miguna Miguna as the next Luo Kingpin.
Fearlessness, it has taken persistence, it has taken commitment, it has taken gallantry. And since President Ruto was sworn in, it has taken honesty. He said that he would facilitate my return, and he did. And we have to commend him for that. He's a man of his word. Yes.
What do you expect to see you doing now, going forward, now that you've just jetted? Are we going to see some political activity from your side?
Breathing fresh oxygen. Miguna is going to take it in, right? And then, you know me, you will see what you see.
Miguna Miguna arrived in the country earlier today morning, and three things were clear. Number one, Miguna Miguna had security. Clearly, someone facilitated security. When Miguna Miguna was forcefully deported out of the country, the security were the same people who escorted him forcefully to airport. This time around, it was complete contrast. They offered security to him. Number two, majority of people who welcomed Miguna Miguna at the airport were the same people who were on the other side when he was being deported. And most of them were actually UDA supporters. I saw their faces. Number three, Miguna Miguna arrived into the country and announced to the country that he already has invitation to attend State House luncheon later today. And again, another big score for Miguna Miguna. And if you ask me, William Ruto is clearly out to use Miguna Miguna in Luo Nyanza politics. But will he succeed in his mission? In this video, I want us to look at why personally I strongly believe that William Ruto's mission is not going to be accomplished. Before we get into all those details, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get back to the main issue. When Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto deported Miguna Miguna out of the country, majority of his supporters really celebrated. Ndindi Nyoro, Moses Kuria, Kipchumba Murkomen, and others.
One individual. By the way, when an individual right or an individual right is a threat to rights of 45 million people, you cannot subject one individual right to threaten the lives of more.
Isn't that a matter that should be canvassed in court? Because there.
And when Miguna Miguna arrived in Canada, this was his first public address.
This is the NRM Kenya General speaking from Toronto, Canada. A message to patriots, comrades, and friends of Kenya, currently demonstrating in the cold in New York and many capitals of the world. Viva! Continue the struggle against the despots, against the illegitimate usurpers of power. We must win. There is no going back. Surrender is not an option. We don't have a reverse gear. Viva!
Then within a very short time, handshake took place. And that handshake changed the political equation in this country completely. Raila Odinga became a friend to Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto was locked out. And personally, up to this stage, I'm not able to understand why Raila Odinga could not use that handshake, the goodwill of the handshake, to facilitate the return of Miguna Miguna. And William Ruto saw an opportunity and started sending fillers to Miguna Miguna. As a matter of fact, Miguna Miguna also expected that despite the fact that he was not for the handshake, he expected Raila Odinga to at least facilitate his return. That did not happen. So William Ruto, having worked with Miguna Miguna in the past, because remember, Miguna Miguna had actually published 3 books, and all those books against Raila Odinga were sponsored by William Ruto. And when 2013 came, Miguna Miguna supported Uhuru and Ruto. In 2017 also, Miguna Miguna supported William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta until after the election when they fell out. The reason for that fallout, nobody knows. But Miguna fell out with them, and that's how he found himself in NRM. And being Miguna Miguna, he was able to take charge of NRM, and that's why he was kicked out. So personally, up to this stage, nobody can convince me that Raila Odinga was not able to facilitate the return of Miguna Miguna. But as fate would have it, William Ruto facilitated his return into the country. And I want to thank William Ruto, and I want to congratulate him for returning Miguna Miguna back into the country. But will he succeed in making Miguna Miguna the Luo Kingpin? My answer to that is a big no. Why a big no? Number one, Miguna Miguna is going to come out as a project. I don't think the Luo nation would want to be led by someone who will emerge as a project. The history of the Luos is that anything project is normally avoided. And several questions are being asked. Who organized for that group to go and receive Miguna Miguna? Clearly, it was organized by UDA. I saw Jack Rangoma. Jack Rangoma has never been bothered about the plight of Miguna Miguna. When Miguna Miguna was in this country, when he left the country, when he was arrested, Rangoma was alive. He even never went to where Miguna Miguna was. The person who was with Miguna Miguna up to the last moment was none other than my friend Matakwebo Bimba, who is now the MCA for Korogocho. That's the only person I know who was with Miguna Miguna. Rangoma, Dr. or Professor Ojwang, I saw him there. Those people were nowhere when Miguna Miguna was being deported. They never even raised their voice. The other question which Kenyans are asking is, who is the owner of that V8? The KDG, which picked Miguna Miguna. Miguna Miguna was picked actually by a convoy. And it was also just a convoy of high-end vehicles. Miguna Miguna is known to be a lover of Benz. He has a very nice Benz, just like that one of Jacob Juma. He has those long Benz. But who facilitated these vehicles which received Miguna Miguna? And the other question which most people are asking, who is funding his trip? Because from if Miguna Miguna facilitated all these things, and it will come out very clearly, those are the questions. And once they will come out as projects, the truth of the matter is that nobody is going to be bothered by Miguna Miguna in Nyanza. Just like when he was launching his books. I remember one of my friends, Uduya, who really persuaded me to join Miguna Miguna when he was launching his book. But I feared because he was coming out as a project. So at the end of the day, he launched his books, nobody picked it up. At the end of the day, he lost. So I don't think that as long as Miguna Miguna will be appearing as a project, nobody will take him seriously. Because the truth is, people who deported Miguna Miguna are known in the country. Number two, why is William Ruto is not going to succeed on this is William Ruto's own political interest. I've always opined on this platform that in politics, there are only two constants, the betrayal and interest. At this stage, the interest of Ruto and that of Miguna are converging. So which means William Ruto will actually use Miguna Miguna to achieve his political objectives. But if you look at Miguna Miguna and you look at Ruto, do you think they can work together? Because William Ruto would want a situation where Raila Odinga is subdued. He would want that, and he's praying for that. But do you think William Ruto would be comfortable where, in a situation where Raila Odinga is subdued, and a firebrand, Miguna Miguna, now emerge as the Luo leader, and the Luos now tells him that one thing we don't want is William Ruto's government. We want you to go and run for the presidency. Do you think William Ruto would be in a situation where, if he were to be given a choice, if Ruto were to be given a choice of Miguna Miguna and Raila Odinga to face, do you think he will be willing to face Miguna Miguna? Because of his own political interests. He's going to elevate Miguna Miguna up to a certain level. If it's funding, they're going to be cut. Miguna Miguna will have to be on his own. And therefore, there is no way Ruto will allow Miguna Miguna to be Raila Odinga's successor in Luo Nyanza. He would rather have someone like Kidero or someone else, but not Miguna Miguna. Number three, I also tend to think, based on the feeling I'm getting, that the Luo nation are not in a hurry to replace Raila Odinga. In fact, if there's one thing which is uniting the Luos, is anybody who is attacking Raila Odinga. I've always read comments from Kidero and all those who are now coming out to, like my friend Owedi, who are now coming out to castigate Raila Odinga. Whenever they do that, they actually unite Raila Odinga support base. They are emboldened anytime you attack Raila Odinga, because they feel, okay, Raila Odinga has been one of us, he's been our leader, you can't just come and attack him. But the way Miguna Miguna is coming, his strategy would be to attack Raila Odinga. The moment he will start doing that, the Luos will feel then he's not the right guy. There are people who are waiting. Kidero is waiting, Babu Win is waiting, several other people. Maybe I'm also waiting. But the Luos, based on what I'm seeing, are not willing to replace Raila Odinga anytime soon. Number four is internal sabotage. Miguna Miguna is going to be sabotaged internally within Kenya Kwanza. Because when Miguna Miguna was outside the country, the Kenya Kwanza owned him, and now they own him. He arrived and fell in their hands. Let me not talk of Kenya Kwanza, let me be specific, the UDA. In UDA, and the brand of politics of Miguna Miguna, he's going to kick all those people out. And he will start attacking some of them. The truth is, they are likely to start sabotaging Miguna Miguna. So like, if there was someone who was the link between Miguna Miguna to certain people, he will stop. Because Miguna Miguna, you know, remember, Miguna Miguna did not support Raila Odinga in 2017. That's the fact. We cannot run away from fact. Miguna Miguna supported Jubilee government in 2017 and 2013 until they fell out. He came to NASA during the NRM when David Ndii was pushing for that People's Assembly. He was given a space before everybody knew Miguna Miguna was actually running away with the People's Assembly. So if he did that, in Kenya Kwanza, he will easily do that. So these guys will not allow him. They are going to suppress him. Number five, I think the people pushing Miguna Miguna agenda, who are they? Do they have a history? Do they command a following in Luo Nyanza? Those are the questions. I'm looking at the people who are pushing for Miguna Miguna agenda in Luo Nyanza. Rejects. I don't see how my former governor, Jack Rangoma, will succeed. I'm also looking at Dr. or Professor, this guy from Ndewa. What is his name? Ojuang. You know, who else are pushing for Miguna Miguna? You even look at Kidero. Kidero has his interest. They're not going to converge. So the people who are pushing Miguna Miguna agenda are people who are not taken seriously as far as Luo Nyanza politics is concerned. They will never. So William Ruto's mission is going to be a failure just based on the people who are pushing for Miguna Miguna agenda. And lastly, is the big question of Miguna Miguna's personal ability beyond the screens. Miguna Miguna can speak very well and very good English. He can debate on TV, and it ends there. Beyond TV, I don't think anything much. I don't think there's anything much beyond TV. Because if you ask me, Miguna Miguna contested in Nyando. I think it was in 2007, he failed. 2013, governor failed. 2017, governor failed. So his own ability beyond the screen is actually in doubt. I don't know what you think. That's my take. And for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. And by the way, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka attended Mashujaa Day celebrations today. Your take.